100点出したのはこの男だけ。どういう走り、100点の走り見せてくれるのかどうか。さあどうだ。来たなんだそりゃ。技術のない100点、技術のない100点が出た。
100点
出た。全員100点。全員100点だよ。
I found this amazing gem of a car for sale at Power Vehicles at Ebisu Circuit in Japan, and I just wanted to share it with you because it was one of the first cars to pull off a backwards entry that was perfect, get immortalized by the internet for doing so, win a D1GP championship, and do it all while being much more simplistic than you would think. It doesn't have mil-spec wiring harnesses or quick change rear ends. It just has a lot of off-the-shelf suspension components, really simple stuff, and a cool transmission and crazy expensive body kit, so please enjoy.
So come in here, Si, let me show you something. This is the Kawabata S13. This is like the winning car and amazing. Watch this. It's like a stock type ECU, like a ROM tune or something, or maybe a Power FC. I assume it's like a ROM tuned ECU though. And look at the connector. It's like an OEM connector with OEM wiring, and this looks like a patch harness.
Is it running a piggyback?
I don't know. I don't know what this is. It's some type of Greddy. Maybe it does have a piggyback.
That'd be hilarious if this thing's running on a piggyback.
But like, the ECU's not like mounted in any serious way.
It's just put it in the fucking glove box.
It's just sat in the glove box.
It still has a glove box.
Yeah, it still has a glove box. It's an S15 glove box and everything swapped in. And then there's this bar, the headache bar, we'll call it. Like, it's a very odd car. Like, we know this car is fantastic.
Yeah,
but it has roll-up windows, has a stock ECU in the glove box.
Right in front of their face.
Yeah, it's cable e-brake. This is the fire system. It's a little like $10 or $20 fire extinguisher. It has no harness bar in the cage, so the cage mounts just to the back seat area. The wiring is super simple. Here's a battery. So look at this side. I don't know if you can see. They use speaker wire for the ground on the battery. The speaker wire. The car is wired with speaker wire. That's mental. You can see the grounds down there that are not attached at the moment. Those are speaker wire. That's how I know it's grounds, and also because it's coming off the ground side of the terminal. Still has a cigarette lighter. Don't know if that works, but it's hooked up to a sequential. And again, a cable e-brake. So crazy.
So you don't need hydros for these things.
With roll-up windows. Oh, and this passenger seat is a reclinable seat.
Wait, I'm surprised it even has a passenger seat.
Yeah. And like, this car is absolutely fantastic, mind-blowingly well-driven, everything else. That's just crazy.
The reason I'm showing you this is a very successful car, one of the best drift cars in the world at its time period, and it did not have very advanced parts except for maybe the transmission, but it was on normal everyday control arms, cut knuckles, I think, if I remember correctly. It had very simplistic suspension, a very simple engine bay for the most part, didn't have as crazy as an engine as you would expect in a world-class, like, winning car. The car was just really well put together for what they needed, and they knew exactly what they needed. It was well sorted out, well driven, all of those things. It didn't need a quick change rear end. It didn't need all the kind of crazy stuff you might think that a professional level car would have. I am in no way saying those things are wrong to have. I'm just saying it's interesting that it did without those things. It did without mil-spec wiring harness stuff. It did without lots of things that even grassroots cars think they need to be competitive.
Just so you know what's going on, these are Toyo Proxy R1R. They're in a 265/35/18. The front is the same thing, and it's on a 255/35/18. So you know the tire size and everything. Yeah. And then it's some crazy body kit. You know the body kit?
GP Sport.
GP Sport.
$15,000 body kit.
Woo! this baby. Andy's not here, so let's look. He's not gonna catch us. All right. It's a Greddy turbo, so old turbo technology. This is not like an up-to-date turbo. It looks like it's oil only, not water cooled. So it's a journal, I don't know if it's journal bearing. It's probably ball bearing, but a very old turbo design. It's not water cooled, only oil lubricated and cooled. It does have some very basic electric fans, basic radiator. It still has what looks like a Z32 mass airflow sensor, which is really interesting. It might have another element in it or something. But you know, a very basic mass airflow sensor setup. It is not map tuned, I don't believe. And that would give us an idea that it's still on that stock type ECU as well. So that's kind of interesting. Nothing crazy about that. The adjustment in the coilovers must be in the bottom. It does have a brace over to the chassis, which is interesting, and it's asymmetrical, different from side to side. Has normal type brakes. This must be for the electronic boost controller, not like a map sensor setup or whatever. Probably for the boost controller. This is to try and increase the response by taking the charged air from the system when you let off. It blows it back into that to try and keep the turbo spooled. It does have a little bit of tube work here with an aftermarket inner fender.
While editing this episode, I just noticed if you look there on that charge piping, it looks like there's a map sensor. And if you looked at the mass airflow sensor, it doesn't look like it's plugged in. So it must be a piggyback ECU or something on a map sensor, not using that MAF, which is actually still on the car. I don't really know, but I'm guessing that it has a piggyback ECU to run this thing, just by those two things, not having that MAF plugged in and that other thing in that pipe. That's all. Keep watching.
Pretty simple though, no crazy crank angle sensor. Has just an aftermarket Greddy pan. Obviously it's gonna have a lot of Greddy parts on it. I think it's Greddy sponsored. It is not a crazy VVL head or anything.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, pretty
setup.
simple. Looks like it works though.
Why don't America get this right?
I don't know, my car keeps blowing up. Leave me alone.
Why can't you get this right?
Yeah, look at this.
Oh, they still have that. That's actually
Yeah, it
cool.
still has a stock bumper mount. So no crazy fabrication to keep the front end together. Probably just tries not to hit things. No bash bar whatsoever, but it does have a mid-mount intercooler to get the intercooler back a little bit out of harm's way, but there's not really much protecting the intercooler. If you're gonna have any type of front end impact, it's going to smash all that.
Well, he doesn't crash very often, so it's okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. I mean, it has windshield wipers, everything's still there, nothing's crazy.
Even the stock ones.
Damn. I'm looking at the catch can routing and stuff right now. Stock power steering reservoir.
Oh, they relocated though.
Yeah. Alright. Let's put it away. Let's put it away.
A little bit of backstory on this video so it makes more sense. I filmed this previous portion during Matsuri during fall 2018 at Power Vehicles at Ebisu Circuit. And Power Vehicles buys old D1 cars and all kinds of rad Japanese stuff and puts them up for sale on the market so that people worldwide can buy these things. They can use them internally in Japan as drift cars. They can export them externally to other countries and stuff. And this car was just really special and really cool, and Andy let me video it a bit. And what you're looking at right now is the YouTube video that Andrew Gray from Power Vehicles put up as the for sale ad for the car. And he walks around the vehicle, he shows the interior, he shows the engine, and then in a minute he's going to show the car drifting. And it's such a cool way to sell such iconic cars. And it's so cool to get to experience all this stuff and see them and touch them and be a part of the history and everything. And you can see this is probably shot in December or January where it's starting to snow. I don't know, I just really enjoy being around all this stuff, and I was really cool, it's really cool I could bring that to you and kind of show you. And now just enjoy Andrew Gray's version of this, showing you around the cars, the for sale ad, and then I'll end the video, but please enjoy. And go to powervehicles.com to find more vehicles like this. It's not a paid advertisement by them to me. I just think what they do is really cool.